This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. It is so far a beautiful Thursday morning. I have had no rain in Georgetown on my little 45-second drive into work. So those who might be doing a 45-minute drive into work or longer, hang out with me this morning. We're going to be having some open line until 9 a.m. and then I'll be joined by the RCIPS. So my morning started by panicking because I realized that in the World Athletics Championships, which are happening right now in Tokyo, the women's 200 meter was happening. And I have become an unofficial citizen of Jamaica in the way that Jamaica's like the third country, I go for. So I cheer for Cayman, I cheer for Canada, I cheer for Jamaica. I've been here 20 years. So Canada doesn't always make these sprint finals and all the rest. Bless Canada, I love them. But so, it's between Cayman and Jamaica. Cayman's not there all the time. So it's always for Jamaica I'm going for. So in saying that, I've been looking forward to Shericka Jackson coming back. And I think she's going to medal in the women's 200 meter. And she did medal in the women's 100 meter. Am I right? I thought she medaled. No, she didn't medal. My bad. Okay. My bad. All right, she didn't. Yeah. That American girl came out of nowhere at 10.61 in the women's 100 meter. But anyway, focus on the 200 meter. Semifinals were today. And so she did. Shericka Jackson won her semifinals with a time of 21.99, which seems rather slow. And I was a little worried. I was like, I wasn't impressed at the end of the heat. And then I saw the Melissa, is it Wooden Jefferson or Jefferson Wooden? Wooden Jefferson. That's the girl, the American, who came in first in the 100 meters. And she blew people away this year. She's been running amazingly this year. Anyways, that's who Shericka's up against as the competitor. And I believe that, if I remember correctly, Melissa ran exactly 22 seconds. But she also, she jogged the last four steps or so. So both women pulled up towards the end because, you don't have to strain yourself. You already know you got a pretty good lead in the 200 right there. It's just the semis. You know you're making that finals. So I believe the finals is tomorrow morning because it wasn't on the schedule for today. Unlike the 100 meter, it was 2 hours later. So tomorrow morning, we've got the women's 200 meter final. I'm very, very looking forward to. I know Shericka's going to medal. She absolutely has to medal, but I'm absolutely looking forward to her getting a gold because, we got to go for Team Jamaica right now, right? And also in the 4x100, which is my favorite event ever. So to the Caymanian families that I know that are up in Tokyo right now with Jamaican roots, you've made me very proud. I keep looking for you in the stadiums there to see, am I going to see the family group because they're definitely in their colors. And I just love to see it. So I've been seeing little personal updates coming from Tokyo, and it's a great thing. Now, I did say we're going to have open line this morning, and we can talk about what you want to talk about. I have prepared a couple of topics as well to share with you, just to get your thoughts. So you can give me a call this morning. Let me know what's on your mind. The numbers to call are 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can WhatsApp call or text me at 925-3261. So as mentioned, there's a couple of topics that we can bring up, and that's what we're going to discuss with you today, unless you give me a call and say what's on your mind. So from crime and road safety, there's politics, there's some engineering going on, environment, there's a lot to talk about. And I'm going to start off with this week, we saw another shooting in Georgetown where a man was shot in the leg during an attempted mugging. There was havoc on the roads with several collisions over a couple days in what police described as a weekend of crash, bang, and wallop. One of those collisions involved an RCIPS vehicle in which they're asking the public for their own dashcam footage of the crash. And perhaps over this past week and the weekend, the most devastating incident was the fatal collision that took the life of a young hospitality worker, Paulo Jacinto Pilas. My condolences to his family and his colleagues at Palm Heights, which is where he worked. So a lot has gone on over these past 5-6 days. And I'm going to get into the details about some of those stories that I just mentioned. But I want to ask you, with the shooting, the road fatality, the serious collisions, Just how safe do you feel right now, both on the road and in your own community? How safe do you feel? Give me a call. Let me know your thoughts. 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp call or text at 925-3261. So with the shooting, just 2 nights ago, Tuesday, September 16th, around 8:50 p.m., a man was shot in the leg after a struggle with 2 armed robbers. This happened in the School Road area of Georgetown, near Georgetown Primary, for those who don't know where School Road is. The man was treated for non-life-threatening injuries, and it's alleged that one of the robbers was carrying a gun and the other a machete. And despite shooting their victim in the leg, it is also alleged that they did not get away with any money or any valuables. I don't know. To me, shooting the man in the leg, and when your whole mission was to rob him and not running off without anything, indicates to me panic and much inexperience. So that is my insight to this story here. Thankfully, the man is okay and nothing was taken from him, except for going to be a lot of rehab time for him and getting better. Luckily, his life was spared. It was clearly a very senseless thing to happen because clearly panic ensued as soon as that shot went off. So they don't know what they were doing. Police are asking the public with any information or who may have been in the vicinity of School Road on Tuesday, September 16th between 8 and 9 p.m. to call 949-4222. Road safety. We have a national road safety campaign going on. We had one last year. We know how bad the roads were last year, and they're not getting any better this year. It seems hardly a week goes by without a string of accidents that are making the news, and police pointed to multiple crashes over last weekend, 37 in total between Friday and Saturday. That's insane, guys. 37? And anyone who drives on our roads knows the usual story. There's speeding, distracted driving, people on their phones, people not paying attention, driving under the influence, and sometimes just plain recklessness. And touching on recklessness, there was a collision with a police vehicle over the weekend. And taken from the RCIPS.ky website, their press release on that matter states, just before 2 a.m. on Saturday the 13th of September, a marked police vehicle was traveling west on Boddentown Road, responding to an emergency call for service when a motorcycle carrying a rider and a pillion passenger was traveling east in the opposite direction. It appears that the rider of the motorcycle veered into the lane of the oncoming traffic. In doing so, the motorcycle collided with the right side of the police vehicle, causing it to leave the roadway, came to a stop in a ditch. Both the driver and the pillion passenger were ejected from the motorcycle and sustained serious injuries. They were transported to the hospital where they are currently being treated. In compliance with the RCIPS policies and the Traffic Act 2023 revision, the driver of the police vehicle was breath tested at the scene with negative results. Due to the impact of the collision, both officers attended the hospital where they were treated for what is believed to be minor injuries and later released. The welfare of all involved will continue to be monitored by the senior command team. The collision is being investigated by the police. However, the Ombudsman's office has been informed and will provide oversight in the investigation throughout. And anyone who witnessed the collision is encouraged to call the Boddentown Police Station at 947-2220. Anonymous tips can be provided directly to the RCIPS via their confidential tip line at 949-7777 or submitted anonymously via the Cayman Crime Stoppers website or by downloading, which you know I'm not going to do, the Cayman Crime Stoppers app. All right. I haven't heard any more details on that, so I hope those who were ejected from the motorcycle have not sustained any serious injuries as well and that they're okay. Now, the interesting thing about this is the RCIPS has put out a public call for dashcam footage. Now, I'm hoping the police have their own dashcam footage. I would absolutely assume so, but they are asking the public for any footage for, I would assume, is transparency's sake. That would be interesting because it highlights both the importance of accountability and trust the public places and law enforcement. So on one hand, it's good to see the police being transparent by seeking public input. On the other, it might raise questions with some people like, how are the police officers involved in accidents? How often are they involved in accidents? And have there been any incidences of dishonesty that they're seeking as well, public's dash cam footage of accidents when they likely have their own? Anyways, I still think it's a good thing that they're asking the public for footage. So if you have footage of that accident, do reach out to the Boddentown Police Station. That number again is 947-2220. I want to talk about the fatal collision that happened as well over the weekend. But I'm going to give us a tiny bit of a pause before I get into the fatal collision. So we're going to go to the commercial break, maybe like a minute early here, which, I'm never early for anything, so we can celebrate that right now. So we'll go to a commercial break, and then we're going to get into some of the details with the fatal collision that occurred over the weekend.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With two models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
If you think of HPV as a woman's problem, think again. Cervical cancer is not the only type of cancer linked to HPV. Other cancers linked to HPV include throat, mouth, and neck cancers, making it everyone's problem. The HPV vaccine is our best protection against HPV-related cancers. It is recommended for everyone, male and female, and for those under the age of 25. All it takes is a single dose for protection. For more information, contact the Public Health Department on 244-2648 or 244-2889.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. The club continues to host successful community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, free site screening in schools, spelling bee, swim meets, and their community pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service for many years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I do have open line until 9 a.m. this morning, so I'm welcoming your calls if you'd like to share your thoughts. And we did have one caller bring up something, so I'm going to bring up that topic, and that's going to be right after I discuss that fatal collision, because I mentioned right before the break that I'm going to get into the details of the fatal collision that occurred over the weekend. Oh, not me throwing my notes away. Okay, now, sadly, there was a fatal collision just before midnight on Friday, September 12th, involving two pedestrians. Also was taken from the RCIPS.ky website. Their press release on this reads, "It was reported that the collision took place when the pedestrians were crossing the roadway pushing a trolley when a white pickup truck that was approaching on the main roadway collided with the pedestrians. The impact of the collision resulted in one of the pedestrians being pronounced deceased at the scene of the incident by an attending physician. Emergency medical services attended the location, and the second pedestrian was transported to the hospital by ambulance, where he is currently being treated for serious injuries. Anyone who witnessed the collision is being encouraged to call the Traffic and Roads Policing Management Unit at 649-6254 during peak business hours." So 9 to 5. Or the Georgetown Police Station at 949-4222. Anonymous tips can be provided directly to the RCIPS via their confidential tip line at 949-7777 or via their website. The deceased is Paulo Jacinta Pilas, who is an employee of Palm Heights. My condolences again to his family, friends, and colleagues. He leaves behind a 12-year-old child, and a GoFundMe has been set up to help his family and, his son, and costs for funeral services and sending him back to his home country. So if you can help out with that, you can get in touch with Palm Heights Utilities to see how you can contribute, or check out their social media pages because there's information there. A lot of the community is rallying against this really unfortunate death, and people are calling for a lot of changes. I guess we'll see what happens, but it's a disturbing incident because of how the driver who hit the pedestrian was treated. So the information in that press release that I read was relating to the fact that the driver who hit the pedestrian, he had caused death. He also blew over the limit, was arrested, but released the same night after causing someone's death. So I'm just going to say that again. The driver who hit the pedestrian and caused death blew over the limit, was arrested, and released the same night after killing somebody and after possibly killing a next person. They were released the same night. That is absolutely wild to me. We are seeing the guilty wait a couple of years before their court date, roaming free in Cayman to do whatever they want in the meantime, to continue doing these kind of atrocities, to continue behaving recklessly. Something has to change about that. Is it the laws, or is it the courts dragging to present cases? There's a lot of controversies behind the courts as is already, so I feel like they need to step it up in how long they're taking to present certain cases. A lot of people are hurting. Imagine waiting a couple years to find out the outcome of somebody who has, killed a family or loved one of yours in a drunk driving incident. Imagine waiting a couple of years. Meanwhile, that person's still roaming on the street. I'm here to tell you, drunk drivers, they keep drinking and driving. And especially when you're down in that kind of hole and you're going to be having to pay for that. They don't always change their ways. They likely don't change their ways. So we have to change the way that we are addressing these kind of incidents that result in death. So what do you think Cayman needs right now? Is it tougher policing, better roads, more education for drivers, better lighting on the streets, or something else entirely? Give me a call and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you have to say. 1-800-534-8255. 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can WhatsApp call or text me at 925-3261. As mentioned, there was a listener who brought up, and I think they're sending me another message right now, who brought up something that is on their mind. And in their WhatsApp message, they said, "Good morning, Miss Miller. I am so upset over the news this morning about the killing of the cats." And I just was like, what? Killing of what cats? Even though in me trying to prepare for this morning, I didn't, I was doing that last night, so I didn't see what news might have come in this morning on it. And I was looking at some of the other bigger topics, but this is an important topic as well. So I'm happy to discuss what's going on there. And because I didn't have quite the information, I think I went to pull it up to see, okay, give me the story on the cats, what's going on. So I did pull up one story coming from Cayman News Service, and this was published just on the 16th, so just 2 days ago. I myself have not read through this article as yet, so we're all going to read through it together. Hopefully there's not something that Bass has to hit that dump button on, but I doubt it, because this is Cayman News Service. They're a respected media outlet in the Cayman Islands. So in regards to this cat topic and the killing of cats, the article in Cayman News Service from the 16th says, following a successful feral cat control program in the Sister Islands, the National Conservation Council is planning to extend, we're getting a call, is planning to extend it into environmentally sensitive areas on Grand Cayman. Oh, okay. So we should take the call right now. I'll get back to that article in a minute. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Buzz. Oh, we missed your call. Call back. We saw the call come in. Call back. Oh, okay. All right. So the caller did say that maybe they can't call because the family will likely recognize our voice and have their head. So what a thing. And that's unfortunate because they feel very passionate about the subject. They want to speak on it, but they can't because their family will ostracize them. Yeah, it's what happens in a small island. Yeah, people's feelings. So they might say how they're feeling more in a message, but let me get back to that the article that's in Cayman News Service. So to begin again, following a successful feral cat control program in the Sister Islands, and we have another caller, so let me get back to the next caller. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Buzz.
Morning, Mr. Kathy, and all the Radio Cayman listeners. Mario, here.
Hey, Mario, how are you doing? Can you hear me? You doing okay? Mario? Mario, you might have hit mute. You might have hit mute. My face does this all the time. So if, hopefully Mario will call back. Mario is a listener of The Buzz. We appreciate your support. Oh, and he's back. He's back already. All right. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning. I don't know what happened. The line just dropped. I don't know. You got to get the off-reg people to check on these telephone companies, I guess, because quality seems to be suffering.
Quality seems not to be being quality.
Yeah, exactly. So again, good morning to you and all the listeners. And it's Mario here. I wasn't the person to call earlier about the family situation or whatever. I think there was somebody else that I called about.
Someone else, yeah.
Something. Yeah. But anyway, I heard you mentioning the unfortunate incident that happened on Friday evening, right?
Yes.
The fatality near the hotel there on the West Bay Road. Yeah. And, that is I don't know the circumstances, whether I heard something, I believe, that there might have been something about driving under the influence, but I didn't hear the full details around whether it was speeding or DUI or whatever, but who the nationality it was, I don't know all those details. But I just want to say that piece of road, that section of road, the Old West Bay Road, the majority of that now is a 25 mile per hour zone. Mm-hmm. But people are still using it. Some people reckless, including some of the taxi bus, the minibus drivers using it as a racetrack and overtaking in the middle lane and all kind of recklessness. And I think that, we have to really crack down on road rage, reckless driving. and the kind of road carnage is going on these islands, not just on the West Bay Road, but across the island. But in that particular stretch, which is the most popular for visitors who are walking in the evenings from restaurants or attractions during the day, or cruise ship passengers and stuff, that area should definitely be enforced a lot more. And people keep talking about, where's the traffic police, and we're not. We cannot have a policeman in every corner unless we become a police state. We need to, Kathy, I think we need to leverage technology as well. Yeah. We need to have some speed cameras. We've got to be able to have the ability to photograph these license plates. I think that's the reason why we have these new license plates now, that they can be tracked, they can be photographed, and also that once you know the license, you can send the individual a ticket, and you need to have an admin ticketing procedure where after so many tickets, you go into another category, whether it is court or whether it's suspension of driver licensing or whatever. But we need to leverage technology to assist the police, but we need to educate our drivers, those that come in here from other countries, but even our own people, to have some sense in driving, because we are becoming a outlaw state in terms of road carnage. And what I saw happen the other night with two poor foreign workers being hit down by a pickup truck or a white truck or whatever.
Yeah, a white pickup truck.
When they're simply doing their job and trying to feed their family and trying to move stuff from one side of the street to the other, and they get knocked down. That is unacceptable. And we need to crack down, and we need to use technology to help us enforce the laws and to get these people off the roads who shouldn't be driving, and off the island if they can't understand our customs, culture, and our laws. I thank you, Kathy.
Thank you so much, Mario. I think you made some really great points, and I absolutely agree with you on several of them.
Have a good day.
You too, sir. You too. Thank you for your call and your contribution. Yeah, Mario absolutely made some great points there. And we do have the technology that he's talking about. So we do have the speed cameras. We have a very sophisticated system, and this was purchased years ago, but it wasn't implemented. And so when I actually ask the police, they look at me like, yes, it's in use. But I've sat in meetings where I can tell you that it's not in use. So I'm wondering, why do we have this very sophisticated system that we don't use? But, behind closed doors, a lot of things happen, and a lot of people have different powers of persuasion and are able to not have certain infrastructures go in place. So we have to look at that as well. Why don't these certain people of power encourage the use of these camera systems? That would help tremendously. Because I know I don't want to be paying a ticket all the time. I do not always go the speed limit, that's for sure. I'm a great driver, but I will tell you for sure, I like to cruise down those roads. I'm very aware, but I do not always stick within the speed limit, that is for sure. But if I know that I'm going to have a camera constantly clocking me, I'm going to behave, because no, I don't want to be going to courts every other week and paying $300 for a speeding ticket. I cannot afford to do that. So that kind of discipline works on me. If it works on me, I know it can work on other people. So we got to do better as a nation to enforce these rules and provide some infrastructure that will allow this kind of, I guess, I don't want to say like a police state, but to be able to monitor what is going on the roads. It's important. It's to keep all of us safe. We're going to go to a commercial break right now. When we come back, I will get into the cat story, and then I'm going to talk about one more topic, unless I get any more calls. So let's take a commercial break right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With two models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
Time to take advantage of the September RAM water tank sale. Looking to start a car wash business? Get a head start with discounts on 225-gallon mobile truck tanks. Save on rising costs and help prevent erosion and flooding with 450-gallon tanks in blue, green, and white. RAM water tanks boast superior strength, made to withstand harsh conditions and impact resistance. Order your RAM water tank today. Call 925-3822. RAM water tanks, built to last a lifetime.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Marriage is a journey worth investing in. On Saturday, September 20th, join author, coach, and speaker, Mr. Wesley Jones from Panama, for a life-changing marriage workshop at the Intergenerational Hub, Old Woods Furniture Store behind Airport Foster's. Discover tips on how to continue loving in your marriage, strengthen your bond, and inspire the next generation that marriage works. Enjoy breakfast at 10 a.m., followed by a powerful workshop and question and answer session. Space is limited. RSVP as soon as possible. Call 916-6182. A Kimpton gift certificate is up for grabs for the person inviting the most couples. This is a free event. Strong marriages build strong families, and strong families build strong communities.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
All right, welcome back to The Buzz, and I'm going to zip through these next two topics. But first, I have to say a very big congratulations to Sydney McLaughlin, who many are hailing as perhaps the best female athlete to have ever lived. But if we love Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, some of us might go for her instead. But Sydney McLaughlin, she clocked 47.78 to win the women's 400-meter hurdles at the Worlds in Tokyo today, and that is the second fastest time ever in history. Amazing accomplishment. So, away from the athletics now. You can hear more from Dion when she talks about the track. I might highlight this in news. All right, so going back to the cat story. Following a successful feral cat control program in the Sister Islands, the National Conservation Council is planning to extend it into environmentally sensitive areas on Grand Cayman. The NCC will be meeting this week to vote on a proposal to use more humane procedures for culling the animals and to focus on all protected areas under the National Conservation Act, as well as the Botanic Park, Salina and Collier's reserves, and other National Trust lands. Now, this is taken from an article on CNS, Cayman News Service, on September 16th, so just 2 days ago. going back to the article. The control program on Cayman Brac removed feral cats from the primary brown booby nesting area, which resulted in a significant and encouraging recovery in fledging rates. In addition, there has been a striking reversal of years of population decline in the rock iguanas and an upsurge in hatching survival rates on Little Cayman. The control of feral cats, particularly in environmentally sensitive areas, such as nesting sites and in protected areas, is an ongoing high priority for the Department of Environment, according to the documents published with the upcoming meeting agenda. That meeting might have happened yesterday, for all I know, because this article is 2 days old that I'm giving you, but it was a concern of one of our listeners. That's why we are talking about it right now. Back to the article. So the DOE plans to continue the work towards a full potential eradication of feral cats from Little Cayman using more humans and effective techniques in protected lands and other environmentally sensitive areas in ways that avoid risks to native species. The DOE has also noted a need for improved access to veterinary and other support services to facilitate responsible pet ownership to address the root causes of some feral species, thereby reducing the need for those animal controls which have not been without controversy. It's a bit of a mouthful there. Anyway, to date, the project has avoided targeting or even accidentally trapping pets or companion cats by getting owners to register and chip their animals. The DOE will once again visit all homes within a half-kilometer radius of any proposed control area to establish if there are any domestic companion cats there. Owners will be asked to register them with the DOE under a voluntary arrangement whereby the cat is photographed, the owner's contact details taken, and microchip identification of the cat recorded. In registration where any of the cats is not microchipped, the owner will be encouraged to arrange that for that to be done and to place a collar on the cat so it can be easily identified. Any pet trapped in the program that is registered and chipped will be returned to their owners, but there's a clear need to control feral cats, which represent a significant threat to some of Cayman's most iconic indigenous species, such as the blue iguana, as well as the local snakes, frogs, lizards, and birds, whose lives are short and extremely challenging. So, there's a couple more sentences there, but that is the basic gist of what is going on with the cats. And that person who initially brought up the article to me or the situation also just responded to me in WhatsApp and said they're killing the cats and leaving the rats to destroy everything. Interesting. Cats kill the rats. So I've recently been part of the kitten distribution program where a kitten found me. Now I can't get rid of it. I have to keep it because my dog's absolutely in love with the kitten. So I'm now going through the steps and being like, now I got to get vaccinated, microchipped, and all these things. And it's literally because my cat loves the dog. They love playing with each other. And we gave the little cat a home. Not everybody can do that. I understand if you don't, because boy, kittens can be a nightmare. I'll tell you that. They knock everything down. But I saved a life. The cat is happy. The dog is happy. The home has a little bit more happiness in it. So that is letting you guys all know what's going on, and there's going to be more controversies around it. So we'll be following that story and let you know what else is going on with it. I got 5 minutes left maybe. So, okay, we have a caller. I was just about to start another subsea cable story, but let's take the call right now. Good morning. Thank you for calling The Buzz.
Yes, good morning, Miss Kathy.
How are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, with you discussing with the calling the cats, right?
Yeah, I was just reading the article that was on Cayman News Service.
Yeah, I was thinking about it for a long time, right? Because they want to cull the cats, and we have a rodent problem on our islands, and sooner or later, we don't even have any regulations against importing chemicals and stuff. They'll end up bringing in as much poisons and toxins as they can to poison our ground.
I agree with you there.
Now, when the cats can do the job for them, they don't want to do it because they feel like feeding the cats is encouraging more life. I pro-life, and I'm not the type of person that's pro-life. And one thing that I know where you had mentioned just now about these species of animals that they're eating or they're accused of being killing, these species of animals that have short lifespan and they're having a hard time to recover. One thing I know about animals that are short life, they're easily populated. They can reproduce very fast, tremendously fast, like our green iguanas and stuff. No, the biggest issue that we have here is human beings. That's our biggest issue. When we will try to interfere in nature, and then we take studies from other countries and not Caymanize what we have in our own island, because we're supposed to be a sustainable country, right? But cats have been here for a very, 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 very long time. And I don't understand. If the cats are the problem, what about the rats? What are they doing about the rats? Why don't they focus on the rats? People can't adopt rats. People don't want to adopt rats. So what are we going to do about them when we cull out all the cats?
I agree. And you know what, my friend? We don't always agree on things, but I 100% agree with you on all of your statements made in your call just now.
Thank you, Mom.
100% agree with you.
What I'm trying to do is be very understanding, because we are dealing with people that do not have care for life.
Agreed.
Eradicating cats, I mean, that's as bad as you saying children are a problem.
Yeah, agreed. It's wild to me already when you try to rent a place and people are like, oh, no kids. What?
Imagine that.
So,
thank you. That's exactly the problem that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, it's a human being problem.
Yes, Mom.
It's a human kindness problem. I completely agree with you. I got to take one more call before 9 a.m., so I'm gonna end your call right now. But thank you. Fully agree with your points. Appreciate you. All right, let's take that next call. We only got a couple minutes, maybe 90 seconds. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Buzz.
Yeah, morning, Miss Miller. How you doing? This is Elvis.
Hi, Elvis. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Elvis, let me ask you something quick. Do you have any cats? I feel like you're a man who's going to have some cats.
No, I love animals. Okay. I love dogs. I don't have a cat.
Okay, all right.
But listen to me now. I'm a farmer.
Okay.
And I've been farming up here now for over 15 years. And I have guanas. Guanas sometimes trouble but fruit sometimes, but not regular. And I went there, found those guanas, and I know they're there. I mean, when I say some big guanas, right, that they walk right across me, right? And they are mating. And in the last couple of years, I call a spade, man. In the last couple of years, people have been coming up here, letting the go cats up around the farms, all over the bluff, all over the island. The people get the cats, and they just let them go. And I can guarantee anybody, I know the cat's been here a long time, but Columbus came and found the guanas here, and he didn't bring no cats. So let's get that straight. No, Miss, I have always seen the little young iguanas, because I know what they eat. It's a little special little purple plant. And I don't pull that up my farm. I leave it because it has a lot of milk. And for the last, I was talking to Mr. Fred Burton. I know the gentleman from Grand Cayman. And I have never seen a young iguana now for the last 6 or 7 years around my farm. And I see the big iguanas mating every year, because they be under my mango trees, plum trees, they eating plums and mango and thing when they drop. And I see them mating, and the cats definitely are killing the young ones. Now, that ain't no dream of mine, right? So,
Elvis, you got 30 seconds. Sorry, but you got 30 seconds.
But and the rats, these wild cats not killing no rats, because we would need every cat in the world. Because remember, it's easier to catch a young iguana than a rat. It's easier to kill a young booby than a rat. So let's read the balance. Thank you, Miss Miller. Thank you.
Hey, I got one question before you hang up.
Okay.
You said you're farming, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What exactly are you growing up there? All right, we're going to go to the 9 a.m. news right now.
Yeah. Mangoes and other species of love.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks for your call and contribution on the Buzz this morning. We're going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and then I have the RCIPS joining me right after the news.
Tune in to Radio Cayman's sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM. Keeping the island connected with the music you love and the vibes you grew up with. Switch over and stay with us. Breeze 105.3 FM. Always here for you.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Right, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Police are hunting for a missing teen. 15-year-old Tashina Williams left her home for school on Monday and has not yet returned. Her photo is posted at radiocayman.gov.ky. If you have any information about her whereabouts, you're encouraged to call the Boddentown Police Station on 927-2220. In international news, President Donald Trump and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer signed a, quote, technology prosperity deal ahead of a joint press conference that's taking place today. The leaders are likely to face very different questions, from Ukraine and China to trade deals and tariffs. Major U.S. tech firms, including Microsoft and NVIDIA, pledged tens of billions of pounds in UK investment. Trump has praised the, quote, unbreakable bond with the UK and says the two countries will cooperate to, quote, dominate the future of AI. And Israel's far-right finance minister has said the Gaza Strip could be a, quote, real estate bonanza, and that he is in talks with the U.S. about dividing up the territory after the war, an idea previously condemned internationally. Speaking at an event in Tel Aviv, he said a, quote, business plan is on President Trump's table. In February, Donald Trump floated plans for the U.S. to take a, quote, long-term ownership position over Gaza, saying it could be, quote, the Riviera of the Middle East. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. Here I am selling Basilia's talents on the side here. That's what I do during my commercial breaks. I try to connect people with other opportunities here. But yes, thank you. I'm talking about Basilia Barnaby Cuff, who's in the studio with me right now. She's behind the boards, and a happy belated birthday to her as well. Toot, toot, toot. So everybody call in with your birthday wishes to Bass. And right now on the show, I'm welcoming from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, we have Superintendent Roger Williams, and we have Sergeant Jody Ann Powery. Good morning. Welcome to The Buzz.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us.
It's great to have you. Thank you for accommodating me in somewhat switching your schedules a little.
No worries.
a little
no
bit
worries.
this month.
Yeah, no worries.
But Jody's like, no, we need to come back. I'm like, I got you, Jody. I'll find a time. And we're here to talk about the role of the RCIPS in hurricane season.
Yes.
And then right before I go there, you know
Sure.
that it would be wrong of me not to mention the shooting that happened 2 nights ago and then that fatal collision. So if there's been any development that the police can share with us, please do.
Right. So let's start with the fatal collision. So that investigation is currently active and ongoing. One person has been arrested. They have been bailed pending further inquiries, and those inquiries include accident reconstruction reports and so on. So that is the most major development in the investigation as it relates to the fatal. The investigation is moving forward pretty quickly, and so we hope to have a steady investigation.
Okay, great. Thank you. I know there was a lot of bystanders or witnesses as well, so that should help if those people come forward with information.
Hopefully, and we do encourage anyone with information to call 949-4222. That's the Georgetown Police Station.
Yeah, I hope they do. And I mean, if you don't, guys, you're already caught on camera video as is, so it would be great if you, we know you saw, so just share what you saw.
You know, and we also have an anonymous tip line.
Yes.
And also our website, you're allowed to produce information anonymously through there as well.
Yes.
RCIPS.ky.
Yes. So there's ways of providing info. Yes.
Sure.
Now, there was also the shooting that happened. So it was an attempted robbery, I guess, and a shooting.
Yes. That incident is a reported robbery that resulted in one man being shot. The victim remains in hospital, considered to be stable at this time, thankfully. That investigation is also progressing, and we also encourage for any witnesses to come forward and provide any information that may assist in that investigation.
All right. I gave my insights into me thinking it's somebody very inexperienced. That is my tip to the police, and I'm sure know that already. I know Superintendent Williams is laughing. He's really trying to keep his laughter down right now. But that's, I mean, come on. How do you're going to rob somebody, and then with a gun, you shoot them and you panic and you don't even rob them. Like, to me, that says inexperience.
Yeah.
Which is
well, we'll see what the investigation says.
Produces, yes. Yes, that's true. We're going with facts, not Kathy's feelings here. Not my Sherlock Holmes investigation duties. Okay, so we're here to talk about the role of the RCIPS in hurricane season.
Right. And that is absolutely Superintendent Williams, and I will just hand that over to him.
Just throw me under the bus.
She gets tired of me putting her under the spotlight sometimes.
I guess that's why we're here. So as a superintendent in charge of events planning, and so it's major events planning and emergency planning. I'm the holder of the RCIPS's COOP plan currently, which is the Continuity Operations Plan, as well as its hurricane plan. So I have a team that works with me specifically in regards to that. Obviously, our geographical position in the Caribbean makes us, a threat annually in terms of the hurricane season. So utilizing lessons learned from Hurricane Ivan, we've developed a very robust internal mechanism and plan which feeds into the larger network, which is hazard management and the National Emergency Operations Center. But internally from the RCIPS perspective, we have to focus on obviously our internal mechanisms that should there be a threat of a storm leading up, we have certain processes that we need to follow. Part of that, and a big part of that, is planning and preparing operationally. So considering the fact that we have staff that will need to be deployed all across the island, it's all about equipment, the food, the mechanisms that we need to put in place to ensure that we can sustain throughout a storm. In terms of our primary role, obviously shelter protection duties is one, any traffic concerns pre-storm, and then feeding into that is our emergency, maintaining our operational and business as usual resilience. So notwithstanding an impending storm, we still have call for service that we also have to engage. So a big part of that is how do we manage the preparations but also manage daily business as well. So in addition to that, then leading up to that, we also have to ensure that we protect our RCIPS and government assets in terms of our fleet vehicles, our facilities and so forth. And then during the storm, obviously, ensuring that we work as part of that national emergency framework. Post-storm, we are one of the first responders, if not the first responders, to give damage assessment reports. So as soon as practicable and safe for the officers to do so, they will start to canvass the streets and report back into NEOC as it is would be activated, and report any key damage or areas that require urgent attention, so we can streamline then focus the efforts on significant areas that require, obviously, life preservation comes first, and those are top priorities. In addition to that, the helicopter, once they're safe to do so, the winds aren't blowing too much, will go up and they'll then provide an overview. Over the last 2 years, I've invested heavily in drone technology, and a big part of our drive is to utilize the drone in hard-to-reach areas if and when that does occur. But from my perspective, it's all about preparing for the worst, and we always have that in focus. If you don't need it, fine, but we should be prepared for what happens in any eventuality as it relates to hurricanes.
Absolutely agree with that. As they say, even with our own health, prevention is better than cure, right? So in other things in life, the more we prepare, the more we're just ready for whatever's coming to us, right? We know how we're going to react.
That's correct.
We've thought about the risks and weighed the options per se, right?
That's correct.
I guess now you mentioned a number of areas that the police deploy to make sure everything's okay, but I don't think I heard anything regarding the shoreline, the coastal areas. And the reason I'm asking is because we know that a lot of people, when a storm comes, they think, oh, now it's surfing season. and they like to go out in the water and, body surf or surf the waves.
Yeah, so a part of the messaging, obviously, which would come through the RCIPS media comms, but also in reminding us that when it comes to the ocean, the Cayman Islands Coast Guard is the primary department and entity for that. So it's important to also know that central messaging, and I think the key point there, that it's not just the RCIPS that is a part of this messaging. Everything comes into one, and that comes with the Joint Emergency Communication Center.
Right.
So, Jody.
So with an impending storm, whether it be a tropical storm or an actual hurricane, what we usually do is we coordinate our messaging through our Joint Communication Center. So in so doing, we ensure that all the messages that need to go out in a tailored way and in a prioritized way as well. So what would happen is that hazard management would take control of the messaging, and the other stakeholders would amplify the messaging by boosting and sharing on our platforms as well. So yes, all those key messages about safety would therefore go through CIG.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Superintendent Williams, what are the biggest challenges in implementing the processes?
I think, there's always challenges.
Yeah.
One of the primary challenges is the storm itself, and you look at operations not in a linear way, because if a storm is to hit us at 12 noon versus 12 midnight, it poses different operational challenges. So when do you ask the staff to come in? When do we cease our emergency operations in terms of responding? When is it safe? When is it not safe? So it does pose a challenge because it is a fluid and dynamic situation. Storms, a lot of the times in recent years, we know storms is predicted to hit us at, 3 a.m. and then suddenly at 6 it says, oh no, it's at 11. Right. So as part of what we've trained and prepared for in terms of, natural disasters, focusing on hurricanes, is just accepting that is the reality, ambiguous, and ensuring that your plan robustness, and you as the individual leaders and the leaders that are in each sector understand that you have to pivot according to, it is a man-made, not a God-made phenomenon. It's natural.
Right.
So you won't be able to control it and say, okay, well, you will come at 9 p.m. And expect your plan to work. I think it was Mike Tyson said, no plan survives first contact, right?
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah. So, everybody has a plan until they get hit. So the point being is that you have to remain fluid. And that is the reality of managing, and one of the biggest challenges. Separately, obviously, we have to coordinate our staff in coming in and ensuring that they're at the right place at the right time. We also have to consider their welfare as well, which is a key and important as part of this process, and how they then integrate into the other structures, and how we ensure that during the storm, if we have a storm, that communication remains solid throughout that storm, via radio, via phone, or any other technology that we have now, satellite phone, etc. So all of those mechanisms has to be reviewed, and they have to be at optimum if and when a storm comes.
It sounds like, because as you said, we don't know exactly when the storm is going to come. One report will say, as you said, 3 a.m., and then we find out maybe that storm slowed down and it's going to come at 11 a.m., which means you are constantly on your toes, head on a swivel, but you're also managing a bunch of people and processes. So that's a lot for you in the sense to be aware of when that storm is going to come and just how to manage your people to deploy them effectively.
Definitely.
So it's not a structured schedule. Everybody's got to be on their toes and pivot, as you said.
Definitely. And I think one of the things that I will say as being kind of the primary lead over the last couple of years, pre-COVID and in COVID, I think obviously we have a society that will work with the emergency operations team. And I think that's one of the biggest credit I will say when we compare to, other international places. Our community understands and will work with our teams and listen to key messaging and be compliant. And I think that is one of the greatest, if I was to ask the question a different way, non-challenges that we have, because we have a very compliant community when it comes to natural disasters and understanding. We all went through Ivan, so we all understand what it takes to now prepare for something of that magnitude and work together as one community.
Right, and should we go through it again, the steps that you'll have to take right after.
There you go.
Yeah. Not that we want to go through that again.
No,
I wasn't here for it, thankfully.
I was, and it wasn't good.
We got I'm a little late for the commercial break, so we're going to go to a quick commercial break right now, and then we'll wrap our discussion when we return. Sure.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With 2 models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
Pastors Garrett and Joseph Haylock and the congregations of the Church of God at West Bay and Breakers would like to extend a special invitation to the annual revival services in West Bay. Services will be held at the Church of God at West Bay, 108 Captain Reginald Parsons Drive, 7:30 nightly, Monday, September 15th to Saturday, September 20th, with evangelist Brother Cleve Bodden and other visiting brethren from Honduras. For transportation, call 916-1345 or 916-6367. All services will be aired on Facebook.
At 35 miles per hour, you have 3 seconds to react. At 50 miles per hour, just 1.5 seconds. That split second you save speeding could be the split second that saves a life. Most fatal crashes in Cayman involve speeding. Slow down, because arriving late is better than never arriving at all. Smart or reckless, your choice changes everything. Visit gov.ky/road safety.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. We are talking about the role of the RCIPS during hurricanes. And in studio with me, we have Superintendent Roger Williams and Sergeant Jody Ann Powery. Now, Superintendent Williams, as you explained some of the processes and key steps and things that you're thinking about when that storm is about to hit us, when it comes to the officers receiving, I guess, specialized training for something like a hurricane response? Is that built into their regular training, or is that like a special training that they do? Do they get special training?
Okay. All right. So in terms of command and control, obviously we will have our annual training sessions with hazard management, tabletop exercises, and so forth. I think, if truth be told, understanding the role of a police officer, it's consistent crisis management, if you know, in terms of just normal business. So I think in terms of specialized training, unless we're going into specialized search and rescue, which there is a cluster and a structure for that already within the national operations, then specifically the officers do have a baseline in terms of their normal business, in terms of how to engage persons, especially within, those moments of crisis, in terms of, being at a shelter or so forth. There is, shelter management training that happens every year pre-hurricane, and our officers are a part of that process, albeit not all. But what we try to do then is do internal comms and to ensure that it is embedded as part of their understanding. Actually, just yesterday, Tuesday, we had a training session for all of our new employees that sensitized them in terms of the operations and their role and requirements in what they are expected to do. Because I think oftentimes new persons to policing often forget that when the public is going home to bunker down, the RCIPS is putting in the uniform along with all the other emergency services, is actually heading into work and to their various deployments. So I think fundamentally that change in that mindset and understanding that we will be at work is fundamental. So we do consistent messaging, and if there is a specialized training, if something was identified, let's say from previous years, we will address it accordingly. But I think for a baseline, most of our officers do have that type of management skill in terms of just managing general emergencies.
I think in terms of communication as well, every year during hurricane season, there is also a communications training in terms of which actually just happened, in terms of how we communicate and the procedures and the approvals and so on, and what the processes will look like. So in terms of that, we also have that to look at when it comes to training.
Okay. All right, I had a follow-up question and it disappeared. There goes my brain in the morning. It'll come back to me. What you did mention, and I think it's coming back to me now, was people have to realize that the emergency services are on the road. The police, the fire crew, we have the Coast Guard. Well, they're on the water, I guess, not necessarily on the road. But there's certain other government groups that are out there, trying to make sure we're all okay, right? And that's all kind of formed by hazard management, the NEOC. I think you guys do a great job with that. But in saying that, at this time we know it's a very serious thing happen. We likely have a hurricane coming to hit us. And then we have a lot of just people not being compliant. So I guess for police officers, what is your, in that sense, greatest frustration when you know the roads need to be cleared? What's your greatest frustration in dealing with people in that sense?
As I alluded to earlier, I think generally we do have a community that understands, and I think for the mass, everyone's kind of been through this process, so they understand. If I was to utilize the last two major deployments that we had in terms of hurricane, I would say then it's the natural thing post-hurricane or post-storm for people to want to go on the road.
Yeah.
And I think if I pick up on that point, then as one of the challenges that I would, if I was to mention, it would be just simply appreciating that the first responders, not just the police, but we talk about all the private sector partners, the trucks, the heavy equipment personnel, and everyone that perhaps needs to just clear up the road. It does frustrate the process when we're trying to have persons in direct traffic when we're trying to clean up the road.
Right.
Bearing in mind that if we do have a significant storm, that during the time that we're all bunkered down, there are emergencies that perhaps, medical emergencies, and ambulances need to get there in time. So it's important and incumbent that the roadway is free, and in addition to any other emergency there may be. So I think that for me would be one of the key areas in just appreciating that immediately after the storm, if we can keep the roadways clear, listen to the media messaging which would come out from a central point, and if we can keep it clear for the period that is reasonable, that we can appreciate in that some persons do have emergencies themselves, so they may need to be on the roadway, but we do need as emergency services to restore all island back to business as usual. And the more significant the storm, the longer that will take. However, it will take longer if it's a simple storm and we have persons on the roadway. So I think that would be the main point that I would say, if we can just ensure that we keep the roadway clear post-storm, no matter how insignificant it may appear.
I agree. Yeah, they'll wait for that all clear to happen.
I wait for the all clear.
You'll get your picture still.
Yeah.
Because that's
You're
mostly
right.
what people are trying to go out for. And,
Yeah.
just wait a couple hours. Let you guys do your job to make it safer for us.
Definitely.
I've had to learn that. But I'm allowed to be on the road with my position. So it's still, I'd rather know that everything's being taken care of. That's not why I'm on the road.
Definitely.
So I'd rather the people who are there to help clean up are there to do what they got to do, and we're out of their way. You did mention that, the calls to like domestic incidences will still happen. Like the police still have to respond to those calls.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, so during a hurricane, the storm, is there a rise in like domestic violence incidents?
I wouldn't go off the cuff to say that there is a rise. I would say that naturally, and I think perhaps COVID kind of showed us and demonstrated some of that as well, that, in any instance where persons are confined for a period of time, they may, issues may come up. But I wouldn't say that statistically that it may be an issue. That's something that I can reference to as a problem. I think naturally, if we look at just daily data, it suggests that we continue to have domestic incidents, and we do our part to ensure that our processes are linear. And just for the point, if I'm permitted to do so, is that we've recently reinstituted our volume crime unit, which is a unit that that I've advocated for years in terms of that coming back, so we can start to fast track a lot of matters, especially around domestics and so forth. So it's incumbent and important that that we get those matters fast tracked. So, but going back to the point, I wouldn't say statistically that there would be a rise.
Gotcha. Now we only have about 90 seconds left, so if there's any kind of final thoughts or messages that you do want to leave with the public as it relates to the RCIPS and what your role is during hurricane season, what you want the public to pay attention to know, one key takeaway you want them to have, do it.
I think that if you've been living in the Cayman Islands for a long time, you know what inclement weather is like in your particular area that you live in. So just pay attention to that in particular. If you know that you live in an area that is prone to floods, or that you live in a house that is structurally unsound, if there is a warning, please use the shelters. The shelters are there for that purpose, and it makes it so much easier for the emergency services persons who have to be the ones to come out there to rescue you in the event of, it just limits that risk. So, and the risk to yourselves as well.
Okay, wonderful.
Yep.
Superintendent Williams?
And I think just listening to key messaging and ensuring that the communications are from, the one consistent message from government, I think that would be the greatest thing. I think a lot of times, emergency services generally get perhaps misinformation, distracting their resources and where their assets needs to be. So I think if we just listen to one channel and we listen to that channel, and if it is CIG, then CIG is the primary channel we listen to, and we get clear comms from them. But apart from that, as I said previously, I always thank the public for their compliance during emergencies and disasters, because, as I said, I see globally where it could be different, but we have a very compliant community, and that for me, from a personal perspective, is and professional obviously, is noteworthy, and I think we can't understate that fact that we have a very good community. We do, and I think paying attention to those official sources is very important, and that it does start with Cayman Gov and the RCIPS as well, Radio Cayman.
you know that we cover everything live, so we're way ahead of the government in disseminating the information. I know Department of Comms is going to come down on me, but while they are getting their fancy little posts and little emojis together, we're actually putting out the information as it happens, not hours later. To me, that's a very important point during hurricane season, because that has been an issue in the past with the two departments. And I'm going to say it now because this is radio. It's real time. It's right now. And we got to get the message out and not pretty it up.
Just get the
Stay
message.
tuned to those official channels. Thank you guys for joining us and giving us a bit more information as to the role of the RCIPS and what you guys have to focus on when a storm is coming. And for always just being in studio with me, Jody. I know this is kind of monthly things, but it's important for the public to just have a better understanding of the RCIPS and what you guys do in our community. And I know you get some flack, but you do some great things as well, and you should be recognized for that too.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Thank you.
We'll have you again soon. And watch, I'm going to get an email soon. Everybody have a great day. Who's going to rub a dub on the weekend? I know DJ Lynn's going to be playing there, so it looks like some of us are going to be out there supporting DJ Lynn as well. And I did say I was going to talk about the subsea cable story. Didn't have time for that earlier. We got some great calls, so I do encourage people to go to the gov.ky/news URL to read about the infrastructure improvements that will be made to our subsea cables. There's a lot to be discussed around that, and maybe in another show we'll get into that too. But that's it for now. Have a great Thursday, happy Friday Eve, and hopefully a bit of a dry weekend ahead of us.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman, your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day.